What is going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. Just want to give you guys a little bit of a rundown. First of all, is the fact that currently not feeling 100%, so don't know how this video is going to go. But yeah, still not feeling the best, but I wanted to bring you guys at least some content because we actually got a lot of news today pertaining to the treasure map. We have the treasure map Sugo Fest with the breakdown of all of the news regarding which legends are available within each part. We also got information about the actual treasure map boss itself and what we need to do regarding that in the boosted list, so we'll be talking about that in a video coming out within the next couple of days or so. But in this video today, I really wanted to talk about Limit Break expansion because we got a very interesting list of characters that we need to talk about in this video today. So let's jump into it. We're going to start things off with the summonable units first, and then we're going to move over to the free-to-play units because they are definitely more exciting. Let's jump over to the first unit, which is going to be Belo Betty. Now, Belo Betty, this is the one from the Kizuna Sugo Fests, and this unit actually gets access to the provoked attack boost or the enrage buff, as well as resisting 3 turns of increased damage taken. This unit also does receive -2 cooldown, which is actually pretty good, so that's not too bad, and considering the special is actually pretty good, removing 5 turns of bind and attack down, setting enemies defense to 0, and then also giving an orb boost to free spirit and cerebral characters. It's a great special ability. It's just a little unfortunate that this character actually gets enraged. It's probably one of the least desirable ones to get. I mean, in terms of crewmate effects, it's nothing really that crazy, to be honest. I mean, fear resistance really wouldn't be that useful. Something like hunger or shipbind I think would have been kind of unique for this unit, but either way, the unit itself is very good, but I don't think you need to limit break expand this character to make this character more worthwhile. This character already by itself is great, and it's just an added effect that you can get access to if you go ahead and limit break expand this unit, so not a terrible option. Now, the next one here is this quick law, which actually was from also Kizuna Sugo Fests. This character gets access to barrier penetration, so he bypasses barriers when you're below 50, or when you're above 50% health, of course, and he does get some cooldown. He gets an additional -2, putting him down to an 11-turn cooldown, which changes strength and quick slots into matching, reduces all damage reduction, which is Rainbow Shield, by 5 turns, and then also says reduces attack down also by 5 turns. And if your captain is free spirit, slasher, or a fighter character, you get a chain boost for 1 turn. The special ability is okay. I do think Belo Betty probably sees a little bit more play, but not a terrible option for a limit break expansion. So now the next set of characters that are receiving limit break expansions is actually all of the free-to-play PSY Straw Hat characters. So the first one here is this Luffy character. This Luffy's actually receiving a limit break expansion, which is pretty crazy. I was not expecting these characters to actually get one. Now, the interesting thing here is this character has hunger, and you can see at max there, you've got an additional 2 turns of hunger removal and 200 base attack boost when you heal a certain value. So that's already very good. Now, this character also is receiving -2 special charge time, going down to an 11-turn cooldown, which is fantastic. And then also getting access to a brand new captain ability, boosting PSY attack by 3.75. All other characters receive 3.25, boost the crew's health by 1.4, and then boost pirate EXP by 1.25. That is actually a pretty good free-to-play captain, and of course, if you've got the rest of the Straw Hat characters, this is going to be a great captain to have. Looking at its base captain right now, he already is a 3.5 PSY captain 3 times, and then also 1.3 times HP, and then also 1.25 pirate EXP. So the buff isn't a huge, substantial buff to the captain ability, but remember there are statistics that go into this as well. So with the stats, the cooldown, hunger, and then a buffed captain ability, I think this is definitely a character that you should be looking at in terms of limit break expansion. I think it's very well worth it. And then, of course, we have the rest of the Straw Hats to go through. So Zoro, of course, is going to get a potential ability with the provoked attack buff, which is nothing too crazy there. The character also will be receiving some -3 cooldown, which is actually very good, going down to a 9-turn cooldown. and he's actually got a pretty good special, being a damage dealing special, and also gives you a 3-turn 1.75 times slot effect boost to your Psy characters. Of course, all of these Straw Hats synergize very well with each other. You've also got Luffy being like your dedicated attack booster, and then you got this guy being your orb booster. Of course, I feel like, personally speaking, I think everyone should be, aiming to limit break expand all of these Straw Hat characters. At least that's going to be my goal. I'm definitely going to be aiming to do that, but that's honestly really, really cool that Zoro is getting a buff too. So Nami is the next one we're going to have a look at. So this character does receive -2 cooldown as well, so keep that in mind. This character actually gets cooldown at the start of the quest, reduces the cooldown by 4 at the start. So this character starts at an 8-turn cooldown, goes down to 4 due to her own potential ability once it gets maxed out. So that's obviously very, very good. Now just having a look at the special ability, at stage 2, reducing the crew's paralysis and bind duration by 3 turns, and then adjacent slots that are switched into matching. And remember, that means that stage 1 is going to be starting off at like what? Like max at the start of the quest or something? Wait, how does that even work? Yeah, it goes down to like 4 turns, and then because of the potential ability, stage 1 will be ready. So just removing 1 turn of bind and paralysis, I mean, it's not that good, but at least, stage 2 is going to be there relatively quickly, so that is actually pretty decent. So again, just another character that's probably well worth it. Let's have a quick look at Usopp now. Usopp will be receiving also -3 cooldown to him, and he's going to be getting fear resistance, which is pretty nice. So with his cooldown, he'll go down to a 9-turn cooldown, and he delays all enemies for 2 turns, reduces special bind by 2 turns, and locks the crew slots for 2 turns. If this character got double special activation, whew, that would have been nuts. But it does make sense that the character has fear resistance, considering that this character reduces special bind. Having fear resistance means that, in cases where you only need to remove 2 turns of special bind when you are inflicted with fear, that is obviously very, very good. And then also the fact that, you can remove blindness if your captain is a Psy type. That's pretty unique in and of itself. So being able to always have that active is pretty useful. But of course, double special activation would have been also very, very nice for the character. But despite all that, still a character that I think I'm going to definitely limit break expand, that's for sure. The next Straw Hat is Sanji. This Sanji will be receiving -2 cooldown, and as for his potential ability, he actually does get double special activation. That's very, very exciting. So he goes to -2 cooldown, going down to a 10-turn cooldown, adjacent slots into matching, and gives you a 2.5 times chain lock for 2 turns. That's pretty nice. The fact that you can use it on 2 different stages to get the chain lock, which is actually pretty decent. I think him having double special doesn't really make a lot of sense. I think that's actually kind of weird, but at the same time, having double special in and of itself is really, really nice to have, because being able to launch a special on multiple different occasions is good. So having a 2.5 chain lock and a bit of orb manipulation as well in one unit is pretty nice. The next Straw Hat is Chopper. This character is going to be receiving -3 cooldown, and this character does have recovery bind resistance, which makes a lot of sense for the character. So this character receives, how much was it? Was it -3? Yeah, -3. Okay, so it goes down to a 9-turn cooldown, and it halves damage for 3 turns, and heals 3,000 for 3 turns. So probably one of the weakest specials that we've seen from the Straw Hat characters. But again, if you're going to be, maxing the limit break expansion of all of these Straw Hats, remember, these characters don't really require that many materials to max out anyway. It is a matter of having the keys, though, and not a lot of people are going to have the keys ready for all these units. But either way, another Straw Hat character down the drain. Robin is the next Straw Hat character who's going to be receiving only -1 cooldown, so that's the lowest cooldown that we've seen thus far. Every other Straw Hat has received at least -2, so that's a little unfortunate there for Robin. Robin does actually receive minus cooldown at the start of the quest, only getting -3, so this character is going to be, this character already has a 10-turn cooldown, so it kind of makes sense. So the special ability reduces Despair attack down by 3, and then changes block and adjacent slots into matching. This is a really good special. I've used it on a lot of occasions on other treasure map fights. Very, very nice. Robin has access to good support as well. So with expansion, goes down to a 9-turn cooldown, and if you have her potential ability maxed out, she's going to start the quest at a 6-turn cooldown. For this special ability, I think is actually pretty good. And I think this is honestly good, because it means that, you don't really need to worry about characters being boosted in certain treasure map fights. You can just have this character on your team and you'll be able to get this utility effect to activate, which is really, really good. The second last character of the video is going to be Franky. Franky is going to be getting -2 cooldown. Franky also has the Enrage buff once again, nothing really surprising there. So this character goes down to a 10-turn cooldown with their expansion, reducing defense up and Rainbow Shield by 3, and then also gives your Psy characters a 1.75 times color affinity for 3 turns. So again, it's just really nice synergy with the rest of the Straw Hat characters, and just getting some extra cooldown because of it, definitely really nice to have. The last Straw Hat character here is Brook. Brook is going to be getting -2 cooldown, and his potential ability is going to be double special activation. Very cool. So he goes down to an 8-turn cooldown. He does 5,000 damage to all enemies and reduces threshold and resilience by 2 turns. This is really good. Honestly, this is probably one of the best of the Straw Hat characters with their expansions. The fact this character has double special activation means that you can technically get 4-turn removal of threshold and 4-turn removal of resilience. He is a damage dealing special, and the fact that it does 5,000 fixed damage means you can use it on multiple different stages to get some wave clearing. Now, there aren't many stages that have, multiple mobs at such low HP, but the fact that that's available is great. This is probably one of the best ones that we've seen from the Straw Hats. This is really good, but of course if you have the whole array of Straw Hats maxed out with rainbowed abilities, they all have the reduced cooldown, they all have additional abilities, which is great, and then Luffy of course being the highlight there, getting that buffed captain ability, which is going to make him definitely easier to use. So with all that being said, that is going to wrap up this video talking about the Limit Break expansions that are going to be going live on the 8th of April 2022. Very much looking forward to all of these characters coming out, and the only thing that we really need to know is how do we get the additional copies for these characters. Potentially they're doing this because they're going to maybe re-release them with the update that will be coming out towards the end of April or the start of May. I think that's a very high likelihood of happening because we need to get the additional copies to actually max out their potential abilities, so that is something that we could be looking forward to a little bit later on down the line. But anyways, thank you very much for watching, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video today, and if you guys did, make sure to leave a like, and if you want to stay up to date with all the content that I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But other than that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.